Welcome to Behind the Badge. I'm your host, Chief David Malloy, Director of Public Safety for the City of Novi. And I'm honored to have Officer Tim Shea join us here today. Tim, welcome to Behind the Badge.
Thank you, sir.
Tim, why don't you start out by telling the audience a little bit about your background, your education, and some of the assignments you've held here with the Novi Police Department.
I started off at Wayne State University in the fall of 1996. I spent 2 years there. After 2 years there, I went into the Navy and spent 4 years in the Navy. After I discharged from the Navy, I finished my 2 years at Wayne State and graduated from Wayne State. Began 1 year of employment with the Detroit Police Department where I was laid off. At that time, shortly thereafter, I put myself through the Flint Police Academy, and then I was hired here shortly after. After I began here, I did road patrol, mainly midnights. I spent 2 years down with Group 6 at the DEA, and about this time last year, I began road patrol again on day shift.
So how many total years in law enforcement do you have here in the City of Novi?
In the City of Novi, just over 10.
Excellent, excellent. And kind of describe what your daily routines are and what district you're working in.
Right now, I work District 4, which is the mall and the shopping area district. My main areas would be near 12 Oaks Mall or West Oaks 2, the 12-mile crossing area. I have a lot of contacts with the businesses, more businesses than residential at this time, just based upon where my patrol area is. A lot of the traffic flow and that type of stuff I deal with, especially now with a lot of construction and helping people get to where they need to go. I've just noticed lately that a lot of people get confused with the traffic patterns just from, the construction at this time.
And actually, you were able to make a recommendation to our engineering department a few weeks ago on kind of adjusting those patterns, which has reduced not only the number of accidents, but has made it a little bit more free-flowing up there.
Yeah, we had an area that was just south of 12 Mile that they were allowing through traffic, but the southbound traffic making the left-hand turn into the mall didn't realize that that outside lane was a through lane of traffic. So they would, when they thought traffic was clear, it wasn't always clear. And I noticed a large increase in traffic accidents that were happening there.
Well, that's excellent that you noticed a problem, which is really kind of consistent with our community-oriented policing and or problem-oriented policing. When we identify areas of concerns by the community or by the business community, or you find them on patrol, that's what you do, is you solve those problems.
That's I think that's our main concern, is the solving the problems, hopefully identifying and then being able to solve them before they actually become bigger problems or are brought up to things that don't need to be out of the news and that type of a thing, if we can prevent that from happening.
Right. Speaking of the news, actually you were kind of in the news about a month ago with a Facebook post that was started to be shared by a random community member. Someone actually took a picture of you helping a young man fix his bicycle at 12 Mile and Novi Road. Why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about kind of how that came to be and what your involvement there was? I
was just on routine patrol. I happened to be going through the intersection, and I noticed 3 or 4 12 to 14-year-old male juveniles, and they had stopped. I could see one bike had been flipped over, so I just stopped to see what was wrong and if I could help, and it ended up being that he couldn't get the chain back on the bike, so I assisted him in getting the chain back on and making sure that the bike the chain wasn't going to come off again, and he was able to go on his way from there.
And what I find amazing is that that's the type of stuff that our law enforcement officers, not only here in Novi, but throughout the entire country, are doing that every single day. And law enforcement's not necessarily being painted in the most positive of lights right now, but it are things like that you do every single day that, if not for that one motorist taking a picture and then sharing that, I think that's up to probably tens of thousands of views and shares on Facebook, but it gleaned so much positive action from the public. How did that make you feel?
It makes you feel good to know that there's people out there that still do appreciate you, especially with all the bad images that are coming across. I always am a firm believer that bad images always go a lot further than good ones do. People remember the bad incidents more than they remember the good ones. So it's nice to know that there are still people out there that appreciate us.
Let's talk about some of your other daily routines and patrols that you do. One of the things that we've always really mandated here is treat every opportunity or every contact as that opportunity to build public trust. How do you do that throughout the days?
I just treat people with respect. I treat people how I want to be treated. I look at people as people. I don't look at them as anything different. It doesn't matter to me the color of your skin, your gender, or anything of that nature. People are people, and I think everybody wants to be treated with respect, and I think that's the best way to go about it.
I just received a complimentary letter just yesterday in the mail regarding another good deed that you did at the Sam's Club. Why don't you tell the viewing audience a little bit about that?
I was up there, was waiting for another officer to arrive on scene, and I noticed a gentleman and his wife had brought out a large cart that had appeared to be salt for a water softening system, and those bags can be rather heavy, and they had several. And he had pulled up in the car, and I couldn't stand there and watch them try to get it into the car, so I just loaded it up for him. It took me all of about 30 seconds to do, so it's nothing but a little bit of time and effort.
Well, I just want to thank you and congratulate you because, again, by taking a little bit of time out of your day and showing that, going that extra mile, treating those people with the way that you would want your parents treated or a family member of yours, that went a long way, again, to build that public trust that I believe our community members and our business community has in the men and women of not only the police department, but also the fire department in here. So actions like that are things that I think others should emulate of you, and I certainly appreciate your service in that respect.
Well, thank you, sir.
Let's talk a little bit more about building trust and how we go about doing that. I think a lot of the mainstream media has this idea is all we do is write tickets and take people to jail. Tell the viewing audience a lot more about what you do, particularly in the business community surrounding the shopping center area, how you interact with 12 Oaks Mall, their security teams, and the other security teams.
I try to talk and talk on a normal level with people. I don't try to use police jargon or anything like that. I just try to have normal conversations. I try to, just waving hi and talking to people and having general conversations with them, just maybe approach somebody and just talk to them about, hey, how's your day going, that type of a thing, and and try to show them that we're people, that we're not out here always to do that, always to write the ticket or to take somebody to jail, and, and I'll be the first to admit, I would rather pull somebody over and educate them and inform them than to penalize them and write them a ticket. I think a lot of times that goes a long way is the education part of it. And, some people, they don't really realize that. They're just assuming right from the get-go, oh, I'm getting a ticket or, oh, I'm going to go to jail. And that's not always necessarily true. So, again, I think it comes down to that, having that respect and talking to people on a personal level and not an authoritative level.
And having met your parents in the past, I know they've taught you that golden rule from probably the minute that you could start to understand that treating people like you'd want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And I think that goes a long way. Well, Tim, I want to thank you for your service here to the city of Novi. I want to thank you for your service to our country as a member of the United States Navy and for everything you've done here in the city of Novi, and we really appreciate your effort.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And to you, the viewing audience, thank you for tuning in to Behind the Badge, and until next time, continue to watch Novi Television.